Good Good afternoon, friends. Thanks for taking the time to join this meetup today. Uh, Today, let's talk about centralized security monitoring using decentralized Elasticsearch clusters. So we've all been working with monitoring security logs on a day-to-day basis, and trying to uncover threats and security vulnerabilities that are observed in different systems. Uh, in order to do that, most of us are familiar with a few deployment strategies. Uh, so the traditional and the main strategy that everyone follows is to have a centralized security monitoring system or a SIEM, and we have customer sites, and we deploy log shippers in their environments, ship the logs through the internet into the SIEM. That is where we run our processes, index them into Elasticsearch or any other tool, and run some detections to uncover some security uh, vulnerabilities. So in order to do that, the first issue that some of the people are facing here is the transmission of logs of high volumes through the internet into the central SIEM. So we are talking about tens of thousands of events generated in the customer environments, which are sent across the internet, which requires a lot of network bandwidth. And moreover, if you keep on adding more customer sites, you need to make sure that your central deployment or the SIEM infrastructure grows proportionally. And another challenge is there could be customers with who generate a handful of logs, let's say 100 messages per second or 100 events per second. And there could be customers who generate 20 or 30,000 events per second. So in those scenarios, if we try to use a single cluster to process all their logs, there could be a high chance that if you use a single pipeline, the pipeline is busy processing the logs that are received by the big customer who has 20,000 messages. And these 10 or 20 messages from a small customer will fall behind the queue and won't be getting enough attention and will be missing out on SLAs. So apart from that, it all depends on how we create those systems, but those are the issues that we have observed so far. And in order to manage these big clusters, we need to have large IT teams and security teams. And another downside is if this cluster were to go down, that affects the uh, other organizations that depend on it. Let's say customer site one, site two. If the main cluster is affected, then we won't be able to monitor the security for any of the sites. And another approach is to decentralize it completely. Like we can deploy the same set of parsers, indexes, or the same set of security rules across all the customer sites. So this can be achieved easily, and you can size the cluster based on the customer's requirements. But the challenge here is there is no interaction or cooperation between different security teams. So each security team has to develop their own security rules, do the detections, and secure the environment. But there is no direct way of sharing that knowledge across different sites. And the advantage is you won't be able to, you are not required to transmit large amounts of data across internet, and you feel more secured if you try to do it decentrally. And we have been working with quite a few customers who are showing growing interest in the hybrid approach of doing this. So the third option that we are trying out recently, which a lot of people are interested in, is the hybrid approach, where the IT organizations or teams present in the remote sites are responsible for deploying and managing the clusters with a predefined uh, parser or log shipping configurations, but the security is managed centrally for all the remote clusters. So if we follow this approach, again, we are not shipping thousands of messages across the internet into the central cluster, but we are making use of Elasticsearch's inherent cross-cluster search features to fire some detection rules or queries across all the clusters. Let's say you have an update to your security rule at some stage. You don't have to go ahead and deploy it across all your sites. All you need to do is just update your hub or the central cluster with that security rule, and it immediately starts firing on all the remote clusters to do the detections. So in order to do this, this can be used in multiple ways, like a big organization with a head office who is responsible for managing the security or analyze the security logs, and the IT teams and their branch offices deploying Elasticsearch clusters. Or another use case for this approach is for big teams who wants to uh, create an appliance and ship it to the customers. So think of this remote cluster as an appliance. We can create it in an appliance, ship it with all the required configurations to the customer. The customer is responsible for managing it, licensing it, but you can still monitor the security from your central cluster. So this central cluster is not a big one because we are only using the internal detection rules that fire across the remote clusters, and the remote clusters can be sized accordingly based on the requirement. So let's zoom a little bit into the remote clusters and how we achieve this. So let's look at the high level configurations of these clusters. Yeah. So think of this as a remote cluster or an appliance that you want to pre-package and ship it to the customer side. So it contains an Elasticsearch cluster, a Kibana node, and along with that, Fleet server is configured, which is responsible for coordinating all the agents that will be installed as part of this solution into the nodes of the customer. Let's say a customer is having two uh, machines, a Windows machine and a Linux machine. You can install Elastic agents on all those machines, and you can enable different types of integrations. So you can achieve all of this without even writing a single piece of code through the Kibana UI with the default integrations that Elasticsearch comes out with. And this is how the UI will look like. Let's say you have deployed an Elastic agent, and you want to deploy endpoint security integrations. So, so on the right hand side, you're seeing that I have a fleet server integration and an endpoint security integration. So if you want to add more integrations, like read logs from Akamai or read logs from Apache servers, you can add those integrations and configure it through Kibana, so that you don't even have to log into all those remote agents and do those changes manually, or think about coming up with an Ansible script that deploys the changes. So this is all seamless and easy to manage for the IT infrastructure team within the remote environment. So next, we'll just zoom out a bit and go into configuring the hub section of this solution. So if we look at this, we won't be installing any Elastic agents or deploying anything in the hub cluster. So we'll secure the cluster and we'll maintain our Elasticsearch rules in a Git repository. So Elasticsearch has made these Elasticsearch detections open source. So all we need to do is just uh, clone the repository, let the security team explore the detections, write their own, and deploy it in Elasticsearch. But the default Elasticsearch detection rules are fired across the local indices. But what we will be doing as part of this solution is to make those index patterns across the clusters. Like if you see on the bullet points here, so the default pattern will be APM star transaction star, but all we just added a star and a colon here, which tells that whenever you're firing a default detection rule in Kibana, not don't only fire on the local indices, but also fire across all the clusters and get the values. So this is the screenshot where we change that. So if you go into the stack management and advanced settings, we just need to change append a star column. You don't always have to do this, but the internal security UI depends on this. So any new rule that you write in the detections will follow these index patterns when it is firing the query. And another UI that I want to show you guys is the stack management and remote clusters. This is where we configure the remote clusters. So as you can see, there are three remote clusters that are configured here, all part of the same security domain signed by the same root CA. So if I have the right roles and permissions assigned across all of them, I can just, fire queries in remote one from hub and fire queries from onto remote two from hub. So this is what we will be using to centralize the security monitoring, though we have different clusters for different use cases across different remote sites. So another important bit to remember here is to set the skip unavailable flag to true when we are configuring the remote clusters. That is because when we are firing a query, uh, there could be chances or times where a few of the clusters might go down. In those scenarios, we don't want the query to fail, but just ignore and continue monitoring the rest of the remote clusters that are configured. And another thing that we'll be using is the detection rules. So these screenshots are from the demo machine, which we'll be looking at in a while. So as you can see, I'm using a rule search to search for any detections that start with threat. So the security team will just open these detections, change them accordingly as per the intervals. So if they can copy it, clone it, and deploy it in their hub cluster, and because it is open sourced, so we don't have to wait for a new version to use these. Like when someone in the community releases some new detections, we can just directly clone it and use it in our environment within minutes. So here are a few commands that I'll be trying out in the demo. So uh, these are you can ingest those rules from the Git repository into Kibana, or index all of those rules into Elasticsearch Index for uh, future purposes. So this is the UI which shows the it has three rules running here. It shows the last run and what is the response. So these are not installed using the pre-built rules, but these are slightly tweaked from the Git repository and deployed, which we'll be looking in a while. And another important factor to consider here is, okay, we are writing our own rules, but how about the IOCs that we have, like anomalous IPs, anomalous domains? Those are some of the basic out of the box things that we can do for any security monitoring. So we have used Filebeat to and its threat module to load all the IOCs from Alien Vault and some of the open source spammers, URLs, etc. So this is the sample dashboard, which shows that I have around 2000 file hashes, which are considered to be abusive or considered to be threats. And I have around 1500. So you save this index and you'll deploy a threat intel match rule, which the rule actually checks the source IP, destination IP, the file hash that the Elastic agent has observed, and then raise alerts accordingly. So let's try to do a quick demo. Uh, Let me show you the UIs for one of my clusters. So let's start with the remote cluster. So as you can see, this is remote one, and here is the remote two clusters. So what we have done here is we just went into the fleet management and deployed an agent in the machine. So an agent is nothing but a lightweight shipper, which collects all the logs for you and ships it across to Elasticsearch. And we'll have ingest pipelines parsing those logs and converting them into the proper ECS schema so that we can write common detections once you understand the schema. So agent policies are something which gets attached to the agent. So whenever you deploy an agent, you'll tie those agents with a policy. So a policy, like I've shown earlier in the screenshots. So you have a fleet server, and I have configured an endpoint security policy here. So I'm not running the, I'm not running the platinum license, I'm running the trial of Elasticsearch. So I just selected this protection level to detect. So if you set it to prevent, it will detect it, but it will also prevent the attack from happening. Like, if it finds any user trying to change some of the important security configurations in the cluster, etc. So if you want to read logs from a different source, let's say, you can click on add integrations. And if you are interested in reading Apache logs from one of your agent, or if you are interested in reading the Linux audit D logs, so it will show the default configurations in the UI, and all you need to do is just add this. So all the agents uh, will receive the configuration, and they'll restart the processes without even you going into the machine and doing reboot of the agents. So the only thing that we configured here is the Elastic Endpoint Security. We did the same across the remote 1 and remote 2. And in the hub, if we go to the stack management and Kibana advanced settings, yeah. So the default one is this APM star transactions. All we did is append a star column here, so that whenever it fires those queries, it just goes across all the remote clusters. So when you're configuring the remote clusters, yeah. So as you can see, I have these three clusters configured. So this is again, hub is the same cluster. I've installed an agent here, and remote 1 and remote 2. So if you click on this, uh, like I told earlier, we just need to set this skip unavailability yes, so that if even if this cluster is down, you'll still be able to run those detections without failures. So let's go back to the security UI. And if you see, so these are the detections that I fired previously just to test the demo. If you go into the rules, I don't have any rules in the hub cluster. And if you navigate to the uh, security alerts here and go to the rules, I don't have any rules in either the remote 1 or the remote 2 cluster. So once these clusters are configured and all set, what the SOC analyst would do is uh, just go to the machine and so they'll just go to the detection rules, which we just cloned from the open source repository. And then, they'll try to find or search for any rules that they are interested in. The way they will be doing that is through using this Python module. So a simple help command will show, how to use this. So what I want to do is I just want to search for some of the rules that that I want. So rule search, I want the name to start with threat. Yeah. So it has, let me zoom in a bit. Yeah. So it has found that, it has these two rules that have matched my search criteria. And a SOC analyst would, or a security analyst would come here and open these rules and see, what are all the configuration. So I've changed the default interval from 10 minutes to 2 minutes. As you can see, I've just changed this, appended this cross cluster search pattern here. So for all the important indices that I want this rule to search for, like star column. So the default one is logs hyphen star. We just need to add star column. So once you are happy with the rules, so the next action is for you to deploy it. So uh, let's say, I just want to do a demo of 3 or 4 rules today. So I want to deploy this Linux strace activity, which, so we are using the Kibana URL here, 5601, and trying to deploy this rule in the hub cluster. So I also want to deploy this rule, the threat intel module match, which actually, looks for all the IOCs that I have loaded and alerts me if it matches any of it. Let me go back to the demo. Yeah, and so execution of Python script in command line is another rule that I want to add. And another one would be the host file modification. When someone tries to modify a host file, I just want to raise it as an alert, whether they did it in remote one or remote two. So now that you have these rules added, let's go back to the cluster and see how it looks like. So this is the hub cluster, as you can see. So I have 4 rules that I've added. One is the Python script execution. When someone tries to execute a Python script, I want an alert to be raised. Or when someone tries to do an strace or attach an strace to a running process ID, I want to be notified. Another one is the host file and threat intel file beat module. So uh, yeah. Now let me zoom out a bit, and I'm just trying to do a curl of a malicious URL from both uh, the remote one and remote two. So I did it twice. And in the hub, I just pick up some random PID and try to attach an trace. Yeah, process attached. And I'd like to just go sudo su etc host. So I just changed something in the host file in the remote two. And in remote one, let me try to execute a Python script quickly. 3, see. Yeah. So now that we have executed all these alerts and we don't want Elastic Endpoint to detect it and stop it. Uh, I mean, we just configured it in such a way that it allows it, but will notify you. So let's go back to the Elasticsearch cluster and see, what it detected so far. We just executed all of those, and there is a 2-minute delay because if we check any of our rules here, edit rule settings and schedule, we have set it to run every 2 minutes. So we just need to give it 2 minutes for it to detect. And before that, I just want to show you the overview of the security UI here. So this is the dashboard, which shows that, these are the threat or anomalies. Like if I go to abuse URL overview, so this is what I've used to get some random IP addresses that are considered to be threats and try to do a curl to them and want Elasticsearch to detect as for this demo. Refresh. And here we go. If we go to alerts, you can see that it has detected this host file modified. So if you expand this, uh, so there has been an alert called host file modified when and it is coming from the host name remote 2. So we don't have any actual logs, any process logs or file logs coming in to the hub cluster, but it just did a cross cluster search across remote 1 and remote 2 and identified that someone changed the host file. And we can now tag this, open a case, analyze it in a timeline and assign it to a different SOC analyst to monitor. And strace process activity is something that we tried now. So we tried to do an strace on process ID 4025, and that is coming from the host called hub. And again, similarly, the Python script execution, we just executed this inline Python script. So inline Python scripts are considered to be dangerous. Like no, not many people execute them. So, we can tweak these rules as much as we want, but, just want to show you that how easy it is to set up. So I'm waiting for one more alert for the threat intel. Let me go back to the last 30 minutes and see if I have anything. Yeah. Yeah. So there's this threat intel module, which usually, I'll show you the rule in a bit, but what we did is we just tried to do a curl. So the process name is curl. We tried to connect to this destination IP, and probably it has tried to download a file. So the destination IP has matched 3 of the IOC provider information. So if you click on this next tab, it will show why it has raised this as a flag. Because of the information that we have collected using FileBeat from all the IOCs, it just matched a destination IP and it is coming from this source. Yeah. So this concludes my demo. So what I want to show today is how easy it is to set up a cross-cluster uh, environment, security environment, with decentralizing Elastic clusters for people to manage and use it for their own purposes, while having a central cluster doing all the security monitoring.